Let's see the another sentence exclamatory. Narration in exclamatory sentence. Narration in exclamatory sentence. We know exclamatory sentence begins with two forms. One begins with what, or how, and the another begins with interjection. So the first one is what, or an, and the other is how. So, and then adjective, then subject, then verb, then exclamatory, note of exclamation, and the inverted comma close here. And the first part is subject plus reporting verb plus object. And we know if the sentence begins with what, or an, and or how, and then adjective, then subject, then verb, we know this is in the exclamatory sentence. So exclamatory, we know exclamatory sentence expresses feelings or emotions, and if the sentence, if the reported speech expresses joy or cheerful, then if the sentence expresses joy or cheerful, then reporting verb said to will be changed into exclaimed with joy. If the reported speech expressed in this is the reported speech is now in the form of exclamatory sentence. So if the exclamatory sentence, if the reported speech expresses joy or cheerful, then we must use exclaim to joy, and exclaim with joy. And if the sentence, if the reported speech expresses sorrow, then the reporting verb said to will be changed into exclaimed with sorrow. Exclaim to joy or exclaim to sorrow. Now the structure is in the direct to indirect. The structure is in the exclamatory sentence is indirect speech is subject, then any one of these will be reporting verb, any one of these either exclaim with joy or exclaim with sorrow. Any one of these. If the reported speech expresses joy or cheerful, then exclaim to joy, cheerful or cheerness, exclaim joy. And if the sentence sorrowness or sorrow, then exclaim to sorrow. So indirect speech, subject, then reporting verb, any one of these, exclaim with joy, exclaim with sorrow, then removing the inverted comma, there will be that as conjunction, that. And we know in the indirect speech all the reported speech will be in their assertive. So subject here, subject comes first, then after subject there will be verb, and according to the tense. Then if the sentence begins with what or an, then what or what and, then in lieu of what or what and, then a very or a great. But if the sentence begins with how, then only very or great. Only very or great. If the sentence begins with what or what and, then a very or a great. But if the sentence begins with how, then only very or only great. Only great. Then adjective. Then comes adjective. And at the end there will be a full stop. This is the structure of indirect speech. If the direct speech in the exclamatory sentence, one of the rules here. I repeat, if the sentence in the direct speech, the reported speech is in exclamatory sentence, then, and if the exclamatory sentence begins with what, a or an, or how, then adjective, then subject, then verb. And we know exclamatory sentence expresses joy or cheerfulness, then cheerfulness, then reporting verb will be changed into said to, will be changed into exclaiming joy. But if the reported speech expresses sorrow or sorrowfulness, then reporting verb said to will be changed into exclaimed with sorrow. And the indirect structure is subject, then verb will be any exclaiming with joy or exclaiming any one of these. And after removing the inverted comma, there will be that. So that as conjunction, used as conjunction. Then the sentence, the reported speech sentence will be assertive, and we know all kind of sentence in the direct narration will be assertive in the indirect narration. So we know in the assertive sentence subject comes first. So there is a subject. So subject has been put here. Then verb according to the tense, and subject will be also changed according to person. Then verbs will be changed into according to tense. Then if the sentence begins with what a or what an, then in lieu of what a or an, we must put here a very or a great. But if the sentence begins with how, then only very or great, and then comes adjective, and after the end, and at the end there will be a full stop. Now let's see an example here. He said to me, what a what a good man you are. What a good man you are. This is an exclamatory sentence. The reported speech is now in the exclamatory sentence. So and it expresses what a good man you are. It is an exclamatory sentence expresses joy or cheerfulness. So the reporting verb will be changed into exclamative joy. So the indirect speech is he exclaimed with joy, and after removing the inverted comma there will be that. So he exclaimed with joy that, and what a good man you are. This is subject, and we will find subject up before the verb. So am is are here are, so here verb and the subject before it, the subject here. So you will be changed into according to person of the reporting verb. So here is me is first person, so me will be put set here, and me will be the subject here. So I am is will be changed into was where, so I was. What a, so a very. What a, in lieu of what a we must use a very, and this is adjective, good man, adjective and noun here, good man. We can see another example here. He said to me how poor the boy is. It is also direct narration, and now in the now the reported speech is in the exclamatory form, exclamatory sentence. So the exclamatory sentence, the reported speech begins with how, so and it expresses how poor, so it expresses sorrowfulness. Then the reporting verb will be changed into exclaimed with sorrow. He exclaimed with sorrow. He exclaimed with sorrow, and removing the inverted comma there will be that. So he, reporting verb exclaimed with sorrow, said to has been changed into exclaimed with sorrow. Then removing the inverted comma there has been said to said that. Then the reported speech will be in the assertive. So the boy, subject here, the boy will, as the boy is in third person, so third person will not be changed. So the boy is also here, will be put here. So the boy reported the person, if the person in the third person, so the person will not be changed. So the boy third person and the boy will be sit here. So how poor the boy is, the boy, then verb am is are will be changed into was where. So the boy was very, how, so we know very, how will be changed into very. So very, and the adjective comes. Poor. And after the int there is a full stop. There is a full stop. There will be full stop. I repeat, he said to me how poor the boy is. He exclaimed with joy, he exclaimed with sorrow that the boy was very poor. The boy was very poor. The boy comes first, then verb was, then very has been changed into, how has been changed into very, and then poor. In lieu of how, we put here very and then come adjective. This is that I repeat the examples. He said to me, "What a good man you are." He exclaimed with joy that I was a very good man. He said to me, "How poor the boy is." He exclaimed with sorrow that the boy was very poor. We know if the sentence begins with in the exclamation begins with what a or what an, then what if what a or an, then if a very or great, or if the sentence begins with how, then only very or great. So here what a, so we wrote here a very, but in the second sentence how begins with how, so we wrote here very, or here is, and here is a very. So this is the structure of exclamatory sentence. And now another structure of exclamatory sentence, and the sentence begins with interjection. The sentence begins with interjection. The sentence begins with interjection. And interjection we know, alas, hurrah, bravo. Interjection, then subject, then verb, then object. And there will be a full stop. There is a full stop. So this is the exclamatory sentence also in the direct speech, and the reported speech is now in the exclamatory sentence. So we know what are interjection. We know interjections are there. This hurrah. And of course there will be an exclamation mark after the word. So hurrah, bravo, alas. Oh, this is the examples of interjection. Now we change the direct to indirect if the reported speech begins with interjection. And we know if the interjection expresses joy, or pleasure, or cheerfulness, then the reporting verb will be changed into exclaimed, with joy. If the interjection expresses, if there is interjection of sorrowfulness, then we will come to know, seeing the interjection, we know what is the form of expression. So if there is interjection of sorrowfulness, so reporting here will be exclaimed with sorrow. the sorrowfulness, exclaiming with sorrow. Sorrowfulness, exclaiming with sorrow. This is the structure. And the structure, indirect structure will be here, will be as subject, then reporting verb, then comes that, removing the inverted comma, comes that, and then the sentence subject comes, then subject will be changed according to person, then verb, then object. Subject and object will be changed according to person, and verb will be changed into according to tense. So this is the structure of direct to indirect in the exclamatory sentence. I repeat. If the sentence begins with interjection, if the sentence begins with interjection in the direct narration, and we come to know that this is the reported speech is now in the exclamatory sentence. So the sentence begins with interjection, and we know what are interjections, hurrah, bravo, alas, oh, etc. And some words express pleasure or joy, or some word express sorrowfulness. So the indirect structure will be subject, then ascend to joy, ascend to sorrow, any one of these will be put as reporting verb, then removing the inverted comma, there will be that as conjunction, and then we know in the assertive sense subject begins first. So subject, here subject, the subject, and the verb will be changed according to tense, and then object here, and subject and object here and there. Subject and object will be changed according to the person. Let's see example. He said to me, alas, I am ruined. Alas, I am ruined. So here is an interjection, and the interjection expresses sorrowfulness or sorrow, and then after the interjection there will is subject, then a verb and object. So it is in the direct narration, and the reported speech is now in the exclamatory sentence, and that's reported speech begins with alas, an interjection. So alas expresses sorrowfulness, so said to will be changed into exclaimed with sorrow. So the indirect speech will be here said to exclaimed with sorrow that I, first person, it will follow the subject of the reporting verb, so I will be changed he. So he, then am is are here, so it will be changed to was where, so he was, and ruined the others. He said to me, alas, I am ruined. He exclaimed to it. Said to has been changed into exclaim with sorrow. So he said to exclaim with sorrow, and removing that, there has been that, and then subject he, then was ruined. He said to me, alas, I am ruined. He has come with sorrow that he was ruined. So this is the structure of exclamatory sentence, and we know that the exclamatory sentence are of two forms. One begins with what, or what, and or how, and the another begins with interjection. So this is the structure.